Okay, good evening, everybody. So today is March 25th, and let us see our schedule first, as usual. So this week, this is the 10th week, but we are discussing the 11th week content, right? Discussing file IO operation. And in the last lecture, I started file IO operation, and hope I will finish it tonight. And I hope I will finish it quickly, okay? So although we are discussing file IO operation, please remember that you have your quiz 6 due by this weekend. This weekend is a quiz 6 due, okay? Quiz 6? Yeah, quiz 6. Okay, and your test will be, I send you an announcement and the study guide. I added a study guide in D12. Did you see that? Did you see that? Okay, so your test 2 will be on April 6th during our class time. It will start at 6 p.m. and it will be ended at what is that called, 8:15. So you need to start in between them. Please start as early as possible and make sure that your lockdown browser works. Okay? And please follow the study guide and module. Okay. Okay, so we are discussing file IO operation, right? File input output operation. Why do we use file? In order to access data from a data file, in order to read data from a data file, or in order to write our program execution result in a data file or output in a file, we use output file. Okay, so it is not that we are saving our actual program code in your file. Actually, we are saving output. Whatever output you expected to be shown on the console, okay, usually that will be shown in, that will be saved in data file, and simultaneously you can save in data file and you can show it in console. So as we discussed that, in order to do file operation, we use file stream. Stream is kind of flow. Okay, there are some built-in classes for in all of the programming languages that we use to do file operations. So file operations something more. There are three modes of file operations. One is input operation, that means reading from file. Okay, another is output operation, is writing from file, and another is called dual mode, that is append operation, that is reading from file and then making some update in a data file, okay, and save your updates in the data file. So there are three different modes, these three different modes for file operations. So when we open a file using input stream, we use input stream. So this actually it is called, in Java it is called file input stream. In C# it will have a different name. It may have a different name, but a little bit different format. So let us see an example here for here. Okay, so here, so in our last week we discussed exception handling, right? So exception handling is needed to handle exceptions. Okay, so here you see that file input stream. This is a built-in class. This class is defined in the IO package, java.io package. So you need to import java IO, and then this is an object, any name you can give, and then this is a new operator and constructor is calling. You are giving the file name here. You are giving your file name over here. So this will take it will make your file on the current directory, where the program is, the package is. So you can do, in order to, if you want to open your file in root directory, for instance, C:\/ is the address of root directory, then we know that in order to get a single backslash, we need to give double backslash, right? It's a backslash operator, so you need to give two backslashes. So since this is a string, so within a string, in order to get a single backslash, we need to give two backslash. So then it will make two backslashes. Sometimes this is in Windows format, sometimes in Java format. We in Mac format we use forward slash. So if you use forward slash, then one forward slash. Okay, for backward slash, you need two backward slash. Okay, and then you see this is file input stream. This will open a file with this name, and this one, okay, so this one is input stream reader that will read from the data file. Okay, so there are different modes of file operations and different kinds. Sometimes that in our last lecture we discussed, we read from a data file character by character, word by word, or in the entire line by line, or entire paragraph, or entire file. So based on this, so if we there are some, it's called delimiter. Delimiter is used to differentiate between the elements in data file. For instance, if we want to read character by character, word by word, what is the delimiter for word by word? Space. Okay, what is the delimiter for? Sometimes use comma, sometimes use semicolon, sometimes use new line. Okay, so we can read entire file at a time, or we can read character by character, word by word, line by line. So based on this, so there are some built-in classes and built-in methods. So here you see that these three lines work combinedly. So I would come from the last one. So last one, what is called is buffer reader. It reads together. Buffer reader is a buffer means more data together. Okay. So we got BR. Okay. So buffer reader, it reads entire string, whatever you have in your data file, as a single string. Okay. So if you use buffer reader, so then you can use buffer reader. But if you want to character by character, then you will use stream reader, input stream reader. So input stream reader is used as like it will work like it will be using as an argument as file IO. That what it will do, it will make a connection between your IO device and the file. Okay, and if you want to use buffer reader, then buffer reader, it uses the character stream readers object, as you saw, argument. So these three lines work together. Okay, so I will show you some live program, and I have a complete code. So please copy this and paste this and make some okay, to understand. So these, as the compiler knows that this file may not exist, whatever file it is going to, this input stream reader, whatever file it is going to use, it may not exist. Okay, or it may be used by another program or person or application. So in that case, it may cause an exception. So this is why we need to put this within try block. And in case there is anything messed up or an exception happen, then we use we give this message. So then we can say IO exception. So this is, since this file are related to only IO input output version, so we do not need to go exception class, parent class exception. IO exception is a subclass of exception class, so that it is fine also. Okay, one thing that this is missing over here, that whenever you open a file, you should close that file. So after catch block, so we should have another statement over here, so that if iOS dot close method, it closes the data file. It closes the data file. It's better if you have this one. Although if your entire program, entire application terminates, then your opening file will be closed. But sometimes it may happen that this is a part of your application. Okay, entire application is still running, but this program is crashed or closed. Only this part. In that case, still that file may be still in open. Okay. So that may create a deadlock. So in that case, you should close the data file. Okay, so delimiter, sometimes we use comma. For instance, in some old-fashioned, in old school programming, there are some, like, in order to save actually computer memory, sometimes some data are written in, like, in this format. That the first word, it means something. For instance, it just shows maybe flight number. Okay, the second one maybe the original airport. The second one, third one is destination airport. So maybe the number of passenger and the average ticket price, for instance. So over here, the program, even it does not need to save that which one is this value. Actually, this is called CSV format, comma separated data file. Okay. So in that case, comma is our delimiter. Just comma. You see that there is no space in between. Just comma. Just comma. So as soon as you get a comma, then you will split it. So starting from here, once you find a comma, then before you found a comma, the previous character will be split. So this is one entry, and then this is another value, and then this is another value. Sometimes we use comma delimiter. If you open the CSV file in Excel format, you can open that and you can see. Okay, and in Java, there is actually file class that is used for file management. Okay, file management is the opening file, copy file. Okay, copy a file from, I rename a file, rename, right? Open a file and then we make it, rename this. This one is file is used for file operation, file management actually. Okay. So, okay. So there are some built-in method. For instance, another one is scanner. So previously you are familiar with how do we use scanner to read something from keyboard, right? So scanner class has some built-in method. Another method is that one of the method is that called has next line. Okay, and then it has another method next line, for instance. Okay, so next line actually here is useful is our next line. We are using next line method to get data from our file. For instance, if this is for instance, these are the entire content of my data file. Think about. Okay, so then how a file is read. So whenever we read a file line by line, right? So whenever we read first line and then we go to the second line, we read it, and we go to the third line and we read it, enter line by line. At some point, we will go all the way end of the file, right? Okay, so whenever we reach at the end of file, can we go next anymore? No, right? So if we try to go anymore, then there will be an exception. Okay, so in order to resolve that exception, to solve that issue, there's another method, a nice method that's called has next line. This method is a Boolean output. It gives either true or false. Okay, so has next method, it is a what is called precursor. It goes ahead of time. Okay, it goes one line up, and it checks whether there is another line next to this. So if there is another line next to it, that means this is not the end line, right? So for instance, if my cursor is over here, my cursor is over here. So you see my cursor, do you see my cursor blinking here? So if my cursor over here, and then if I know that there is really there is a line in the next line, and that I can read that, right? But if there is no line next, if I try to read, then there will be an issue. So this, in order to resolve that issue, this has next line is used, okay, before we use next line method. Next line it gets a string. So it just gives a true or false value. If there is a line, whatever line is it, either empty or whatever. So if there is a line next to my cursor pointer, then it will give a true value. Then if I have true, that there is a line, then I read the line. And this next line method, actually, it puts the entire thing as a string. So this is coming as a string, data line. And then data line, this is a string, you can split it as this is a string, and you can split it as an array, by, for instance, using comma. This is the delimiter. So whenever I am getting a comma, then for instance, for this example, if my next line is like this, okay, so that means whatever it will do, if my line is input line is this, so then this will be one first input in my tokens. This is a string type array. This is an array of string type. Okay, so this first element will be this, and after comma, second, this will be the second element with index 1. First element index 0. This will be index third element. Index third. This will be fourth element on index 3, and this is the fifth element with index 4. So that is what it is doing over here. So here, now let me go it quickly again. So first work on this has next method. It will check whether there's a line in the file, any more line. Okay, if there is a line, if there is no line, then it will give false. Then it will not enter into the while loop. We know that while loop works if this is true. Okay, then whatever I'm getting data, this data I'm splitting based on comma. If my data file is like this, it has separator space, so then it's good. I can use a space separator. In that case, I will use, instead of semicolon, comma, I will use just a space. Here is a space delimiter. Okay. Then what it will do, it will check word by word. First word, second word, third word. This word will be put in another string type array, and here it is the output. So since this is a string, you can put output at a time. or you can use a loop to output one by one or any specific element. Has anyone any question? Let me finish this and then I will go through all. This is the same question, okay? So this is the same program this is Java and this is in C Sharp. C Sharp has the method end of string. So in Java has next line, but C Sharp has this method. This is actually not method, an attribute. Otherwise, other things is same. In C Sharp, which is in lowercase, in Java is in uppercase. Otherwise, everything is same. So this is different. So Java and C Sharp, they have slightly different set of classes and methods for file IO operations. Okay. So this is just a reading from data file. Now let us see how do we write into a data file. Okay, in Java we use print writer. It is more similar with system.out that we use to display on console, but we use print writer. Okay, but in C Sharp we use stream writer. So this print writer method, it prints only data file, but if we really want to print whatever you have data in your file, if you really want to print in a printer on a piece of paper, then I have code I can share with you if you want to learn, but that is not the content for this course. We are not discussing this in this course. That is the content of operating system. How do we handle operating system? Give command. In order to print something, right, you need to give command to operating system. Yeah, I have some code I can show you, but I can share with you, but that is not this course. So here, so writing text to a data file. So this is why I'm opening file over here. So this print writer class is used, and then whatever I see over here, so just I will use this object, the print line. So this print line, using this print, it will be printing in the data file, not in the console. Okay, please practice this. Okay, I have a few more slides. Let us go to slides, then I will go in live program. Okay, and Java and C Sharp we use stream writer, and Java we had print writer. They are used a little bit differently. Okay, so please go through this example. Okay. Okay, so there are other kind of file that is called binary file. That is actually not all files are text file or audio file or video file. There are other kind of file. We know that, right? For instance, audio file, video file, MP3 that we call MP3 file or MP4 file. MP3 is video call, right? Video audio file. MP4 is video file, right? There are other kind of format of files. So actually working on binary files, these are called binary files. So the binary files is low level, and actually that needs more. It's better to have some operating system idea, but that are used character by character. So for instance, okay, let me go with some example that we use low level by mainly character by character or word by word. We cannot go like, for instance, the enter file. So it's text file, we can go enter file, but if it is a movie file, right, it will be very large. We cannot read the entire file content together. Okay, so then there are different techniques. Okay, so that in that case we read byte by byte, or maybe character by character, or so for instance we can say byte by byte. So whatever our file content, okay, we just use using for loop or loop or while loop we can use, and we can say that, okay. Okay, so in order to open a file into binary file mode, we need to use extra this binary writer class object like this. Okay, so for your test, you will be asked simple questions, for instance, reading from a data file or writing into a data file. I don't like to give like this kind of complicated question for your test, where your test is closed book. Okay. Previously, I discussed how to read from a file and write into a file. That's it. Okay. Please make sure that you understand this and do some practice. But for advanced level, you need to try with this for binary file. Okay. Other kind of file, MP3 or MP4. It's fine. Let me see. Okay, this is my personal example. So in order to sometime you may read something from web file, right? You may read something from a website, and you may read content from a website, and you may save it in a data file. You want to save it in a data file, okay? In that case, this is an example that you may get into it, okay? So for instance, so that is a networking programming. Okay, actually this is not the content for this course, but just I added some example. So in order to connect with internet, we have another class. This is called socket class, and then this one is a URL, and in Google is homepage has port. This is called port number 80. Google homepage port number. Okay. When you go, for instance, Atlanta Airport. So Atlanta Airport is a huge and very large airport, right? So if you have a flight, you need to know in which port your flight, in which gate, right? It is landing. Or you need to understand, right? So if you do not know your gate number, then you will be in trouble, right? So that is like, for instance, the port number is like a gate number for an airport. Okay. And it use some advanced method. So I'm not discussing this in this course, but if you have interest, but whenever you can save it, whenever you take networking course, you will need this one. You will need this. Okay, this is in C#. This is in Java. Same program I have in C# also. Okay, one more thing there. One more method is that flash method. So we sometimes we seek a refresh, right? We know refresh. How do we refresh a page? Just by pressing F5, or in our, so for instance, in our Google page or home page or any website, we click on the refresh button, right? So we click on the refresh button to reload the file, right? So that actually what does, similar thing it does here, the flash button, what it does, the print writer operation, whenever it gets some data, it pushes the data and then it refreshes it make it clean, and then again it push and then clean. So this method is widely sometimes used, flash method. Okay. And in C sharp, it has F is in uppercase. Sorry, F is in uppercase flash method. Okay, and the last slide. I don't agree with this approach. So working with file or network is similar to working with a keyboard or console. I could not say similar, I would say is more likely they have some similarity, but not exactly same. So why do we use data file again? In order to save our program result permanently, right? Persistent way, right? So whatever output of our program we have, we can save it in a permanent location. For instance, whenever you do database operation in real and full application, all real and full application, you will need to read your to save your output in a file. In that case, you need to do file IO operation. Okay, I have some example live code I can show you now so that you can practice. Maybe there is a way to do here. Okay, file IO operation with Java, example 1, and then same example with C sharp. File writer operation Java, C sharp. Read operation, this is C sharp. File operation with example 3. So let me give you this. Okay. So if I run this program, it will create a data file in its location. You see that I already ran this program multiple times, so it created it. So instead of test, let me give it a different name as a text, txt. Okay, and then whatever this file will do, whatever these 3 lines, these 2 lines, it will just create a data file. Okay, named text.txt. So if I run this program, you see that on the left side, it will be creating a data file text.txt. You see that text.txt. Okay, but we have not written anything. We did not write any code to read it, to write something here, right? We don't have anything in this file. So if we open this file, it will empty. So this code is just to create a data file. Okay, so I like you to practice starting from like how to create a file. Okay, so then this code is in Java, and then we have similar code. Is this one similar or Okay, maybe we can convert it, but I can go to the next one. You can convert it. Okay, one thing is that instead of using what is that called, try catch block, I just use throws exception. Okay, so you can convert it to, you can put these lines, two lines in try block, and instead of throws, using throws keyword, you can use the example, the book, it has previously like this, but I converted that one. Okay, you can make this way, you can do try catch block instead of we discussed that there are two ways to handle exception, right? One is using try class, another using throws keyword, right? So either way you can do. So since there is only one method over here, main method, and if this is using the file, so it will be nice to put this one here. Okay. The second one, what it will do, I'm not going to remember actually. Okay, so actually it is byte by byte. It is reading byte by byte, like binary file. Okay. So in this in C#, I can give you this one also. You can please spend some time to understand this. Okay. This is another example. Let me give different name, TSTT, okay, TTT. So it will create another file, TTT. Okay, so please enter a context for the, enter new content for the file. So hello friend, today is, so I present, oh I presenter. Okay, so here this file, okay, I'm sorry, why it does not read. Double T. So what it is doing, it is writing to data file and reading from data file. Okay. Today is Thursday. Okay. So then it wrote this content in the file, and at the end it is also displaying here. So if we open this file, what is my file name? TSTT TXTT. You see that the content is written over here. So one thing here, this program, sometimes we use this is the dot. This dot means the current directory, current location. So whatever your current location, okay, you don't need to assign this, that within this current folder, wherever this folder, within the current folder, this file will be created. So okay, so please remember this dot operator, dot. Okay, and then did I give you this one? Oh, I think this is the same thing. I opened the same one. The last one. Okay, that is Java. Okay, that is Java. Okay, so in this program, what it will do, it will create a myfile.txt in your current folder, and you will ask to write data. Okay, and to press. Okay, I change it, so 65. Okay, so until you press uppercase A, that it will be taking your all of your content. Okay, so whatever I can do, I can delete my existing file over here, and so let us run this program. Okay, so it is giving me this message. So the file name, so myfile.txt is open, myfile.txt is open, and write data and press A to display. So hello, I can say enter, no problem. I can say give a space bar, I can say enter, it's not problem. My previous problem, as soon as I press enter, it will go next, it will display, right? So here, until I press uppercase A, so whatever I have here, this code is say, while my character is not equal to 65, that is the ASCII code of uppercase A. So say you say I am here. So whenever I said, until I said I am here, then it got, whenever I said uppercase I, okay, A, that did not take. So that was my termination point, okay, uppercase A. For instance, you can set up, for instance, whenever you say until we press Control plus Z, Control plus E, or whatever character, for all characters set, there is a code. For instance, let us see ASCII code. For CTRL plus T, whatever I say, there are many example, Control plus T. Okay, the ASCII value is, what is this value? DC4. This is binary value. This is octal value. What is binary value? So you see that for all everything, so we have ASCII value, corresponding ASCII value. If we give that ASCII value over here, okay, if you get that ASCII value here, then normal table will not have this one. Okay, Control plus A is decimal value is this 0, 1. You see that for all character we have ASCII values, so you can use that ASCII values here. So now if we open our data file, we will see that here I have code over here. So I can give you this program, you can practice. Okay, so let us wrap up in a few minutes, and then let me explain this program, what it is doing, then we're done. So it is taking character by character. So this is my ending character, whatever I say. If we say like 65 is in the ASCII chart, if we have We open ASCII chart. ASCII table. Okay, so A, uppercase A is 65. 65. Okay, and then G, uppercase G is 90, right? Uppercase G is 90. So then here, if you put 90 over here, so that means until you press uppercase G, it will take all characters. So you can set up whatever character you will take it. Okay, whatever what you will set. So it is taking character by character, and then after that, it is closing the file. After reading it, after writing it, it is closing the file, and okay, then it is reopening the file. If you want to work in a data file simultaneously, that is, you're opening file, you're writing a file, sometimes you may need to close the file. You can close the file and you can reopen the file in the same program, okay, and then you can do read operation. So the next part is read operation. Two things we can do. We can either read line equal to not equal to null, or previously we discussed that we go to the has next line. Has next line. Has next line is used for reading entire line by line, but since we are reading over here character by character, so we can do both way, character by character. So we can do character by character or entire file. Okay. So I think I have some program over here. You please practice this program. But for the sophisticated one, you do not need this. For the test, you need to understand how to read a file and how to write in a data file. How to read from a file and how to write in a data file. Okay. I think that's it for this content. Has anyone any question? You have a question? Yeah. So people who are joining online, has anyone any question?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay, thank you. And please be ready for the upcoming test. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, and you have a good evening. And this is a rainy day. Please drive safe.